Well, billions of tonnes of food is being wasted across the world. Poor infrastructure, storage facilities and consumer fussiness have been identified as some of the contributing factors. A report found 2 billion tonnes of food ends up in the bin. Europe and the United States have been singled out as the worst offenders. Some of the reasons given include buy one, get one free offers. People then don't eat the second portion they've bought. Sticking to overly strict sell-by dates, as well as poor storage. In the UK, almost a third of vegetables are said to be thrown away before they reach supermarket shelves, purely by dint of their misshapen appearance. Along with food, water is also being wasted, say the authors of the report. 550 billion cubic metres, it's the equivalent of 220 million Olympic-sized swimming pools, is used on crops that are subsequently never eaten. Well, Robert van Otterdijk is team leader from Save Food. That's the global initiative on food loss and waste reduction for the United Nations. He joins us via Skype from Rome. Welcome to you, Robert. Are you surprised by this report? What does it tell us?
I'm not surprised by the report. It just confirms what other reports have been investigating earlier, including a global report from the FAO 1.5 years ago. It's the same line of magnitude of food losses and waste and the same causes.
We're used to some of these reasons in the West and developed countries, people not buying vegetables because they don't like the shape. People have been pretty profligate with their food. What's relatively new for many of our viewers in this report is looking at what's going on in the developing world and looking further back down the logistics supply chain, crops staying in their fields, ineffective farming, big problems there.
That's right. That is certainly not a new problem. This has been going on since the developing world exists, if you can say it like that. Countries which are in poverty, which are underdeveloped, they simply don't have the investment capacity to put up their food supply, production and supply chains efficiently.
Nonetheless, Robert, it tells us something, doesn't it, about the big questions around food security, what kind of population globally we can support, given that quite clearly there is enough food to go around, even with an expanding population. It just needs to be processed, handled, harvested correctly.
Yes, correctly in a way that not so much is getting spilled. What we have calculated from our studies is that if roughly a quarter of all the food which is now getting lost or wasted, if that could be saved, that would be enough to feed the estimated 800, 900 million people that are hungry in the world.
Robert, what's the best way, what's the best agency, what's the best instrument to actually change this situation? Is it the market? You let the market do the work? You use price to ration these things? Or does it take an external agency, like the United Nations, to chivvy people and get on people's case?
It's both what you said. The real change can only be made by the private sector, the people who are affected by the food loss. And these are the farmers, the farmer organizations, the industry, the food industry, the retailers, the wholesalers, the whole trading and distribution networks. They can make the real change because only they can do it at any significant scale. But if they are not doing it jointly, if everybody is just working on his own, he won't achieve anything. And therefore, there is a need for support to this private sector, to coordinate and create synergy so that the problems can be tackled at least regional scale and not only at a local, national scale. And at the same time, and that is mostly at the national level, but also at international a bit, the enabling environment has to be created to make it possible for the private sector to make investments, to adjust national and international legislations that create a conducive environment for the private sector to take action and to improve the production and supply of food products.
Robert van Otterdijk is with the UN's Global Initiative on Food Loss. Robert, thanks very much.